welcome to a video on exoskeletons and endoskeletons. In this video, we'll be covering the exoskeleton and the endoskeleton, how we're comparing the two and seeing what makes them unique in their own right and like what similarities they may have if there are any. Alright, so just a heads up, this is a short video, so if you feel that I'm going too fast for you, you can always slow it down by pausing the video, taking your own pace. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so the exoskeleton is the first one we'll be looking at, and the exoskeleton is a hard outer covering on the body of invertebrates. Like arthropods, which are segmented, or animals with segmented parts, and mollusks, which are squishy animals with shells. So if you look at here, this is a arthropod, typical, and this is known as a crustacean. So it belongs to the subgroup crustacean because of its 10 legs. And you can see that it looks like its body is made up of different parts, and that's what really makes it an arthropod. But what you really notice in terms of the skeleton is that his skeleton is on the outside. It's this hard outer shell that it has, and that's the exoskeleton. And we can see it here on this insect, this beetle, and we can see it again on the scorpion over here. And then this slow little guy here, you know as a snail, also has this shell on his back, almost sort of like a mobile home that offers it protection, and that is its exoskeleton. So the exoskeleton is a shell structure because, like other shell structures, its main function is to protect whatever is inside of it. So the function of the exoskeleton of arthropods and mollusks acts as a sort of armor, giving the animal protection against whatever may cause it harm. So here on the left we see a black beetle, and beetles are notoriously known for their thick exoskeletons that make it very difficult to make a meal out of them, especially if you are another arthropod or an animal that the same size as it, because then to you that armor is very thick. To us, not so much, because we were like 100 times bigger than this guy. But if you were the same size, you'd have a very tough time getting through that thick armor. It's very similar to how humans created armor, like how knights would wear, to protect ourselves from from swords or blades or other weapons that might cause us harm. So it's very similar to a suit of armor. Along with protection, the exoskeleton has the additional benefit of giving the animal enhanced strength. If you look at the ant, for example, the ant is known for carrying objects or things that are 50 times its own mass, which is incredible for something so small. And that ant can carry that thing quite a far distance relative to its size, which is quite impressive. Alright, so let's move on to the endoskeleton. The endoskeleton is what it sounds like. It's a skeleton on the inside of animals. So it's a solid, strong structure made up of multiple parts found on the inside of the body. So usually the endoskeleton is made up of what we call bone. However, sharks, for example, are vertebrates that have no bone skeleton but have cartilage instead. I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's good to know. So it's made of multiple parts, and it's found inside of the body of vertebrates. So all vertebrates, mammals, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and fish all have an endoskeleton. And here are some examples of what I just said, and you can see the many parts that make up this one skeleton. I mean, just look at all those pieces that make up one whole skeleton. And here we have the skeleton of a bat, which is also just fascinating to see. Look at how they differentiate based on the function or their adaptation to their habitat. All right, so the endoskeleton is a frame structure. It is a frame structure, and like other frame structures, its main function is to offer support. So the function is to offer support to the organs and the muscles of the body. So it allows you to stand, it allows you to basically hold yourself up, and it supports your muscles that allow you to move, and it supports your organs that are inside your body that allow you to survive. And it's really how this man, or this image here of the man flexing, is allowed to do so, because the skeleton enables his muscles to rest on the skeletal structure and strike the pose he is striking in this image here. Alright, so the endoskeleton is made up of many parts connected by different types of joints. So because the endoskeleton is made of many joints, it's very flexible, right? And you can see there's some of the joints here. I'm not going to go into detail. You can take a look yourself if you want. But Basically, it will allows you to stand straight and look left and right, and it also allows you to bend, you know, sort of how this, in this image, how it's moving to the, how she's, or this skeleton structure is moving to the right or bending to the right while standing in one spot. And you can also twist from your hips, so you don't even have to, turn your feet right or left to twist. You can twist while your feet are facing straight, and that's all thanks to the joints that make your skeleton flexible. And we can see the range of flexibility that the endoskeleton offers just by these advanced poses. This is called a scorpion pose, and you can see why, because it kind of looks like your legs are taking the position of the scorpion's tail. And you can just see that flexibility that your skeleton allows you to have, right? Just look at all those joints working together to make you flexible. And here's another pose, again, to basically boast the flexibility of the endoskeleton. So the endoskeleton is very flexible, a lot more flexible than the skeleton or the exoskeleton. I mean, just look at this purple guy. He fell on his back, and it's nearly impossible for him to get up because of how rigid and how inflexible his skeleton is. There's not much joints. You can see as he's struggling, he can't really move or maneuver his legs or his limbs around to touch the ground. So yeah, the exoskeleton might offer protection, but it really falls short when it comes to flexibility. All right, so that's the video. If by any chance you find that during these videos, not just this one, but any other video I have, that, from now on I'm giving the ability for you to write comments. If you find that you didn't get something or you're confused about something, you're welcome to leave a question in the comments. Please keep the comments based on the video and not some random things. I will try to answer as much as I can, within the few days of release of the video. And yeah, that's it. So that being said, never stop learning and keep being awesome. Till next time.